ready for another lesson?
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Back Row Banter, your favorite casual movie talk podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Adam Schwartz, and on today's episode in the news, we have another Formula One project in the works with yet another Formula One driver attached to it. We'll get to that in the news. No trailer talk this week. The new to streaming includes the first 2 days of July, meaning there's quite a bit coming. We'll get to what we're watching, of course, and then our main review for the episode is Independence Day. But before we get to any of that, I'm joined today, of course, by Nuclear Nathaniel Gingrich.
Hello, everyone. I am Nuclear Nathaniel. What was I last week? Nebula Nathaniel? Have I been
Correct.
nuclear before?
Yeah. It was something source. It was a dinosaur.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I live on nuclear fusion.
You?
Yeah.
How does that work?
I eat stuff. I eat all of the matter, and it fuses in my stomach.
This sounds like the time machine from Back to the Future 2, where it just puts in trash and then it converts it into energy.
Based off that, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Similar technology.
Similar tech, yes.
Okay. Cool. Also joining me today is extraterrestrial Tyler Vidalis.
Little ET
action.
Little ET TV.
Is that your new Twitch name?
You could.
ET TV.
That's got to be taken. Someone's got that, surely.
Probably.
You would assume.
I also don't
It's
think it'd be
just-
very intuitive.
It's just
Somebody who's way more into aliens than I am.
I was going to say, it's just a straight feed. Oh, we got a rare Leah sighting. Actually,
True.
this week, I had a listener ask me, they were like, we haven't heard about Leah in a while. They're like, I'm all caught up. They're like, I'm caught up on the soap opera of Back Row Banter, of the drama. Like, we haven't had a Leah sighting in a while. Is everything fine? I was like, yeah, everything's great. She just hasn't appeared on the pod for a bit.
Yeah.
I don't see
We
her
have
as often.
two-
Yeah, I'm good. We're good.
Cool.
Good to hear.
Yeah.
And that sultry voice over there, of course, is big Battlestar BlakeHolder.
Hey, what up? What up?
Wrong, sci-fi franchise, of course, not Battlestar Galactica, but I feel like it kind of applies. Same.
I didn't even know that was its franchise by itself.
Battlestar Galactica.
No.
Yeah,
Is
it's
Is that like
It's-
OG?
it's
Well, there was one series, and then they brought it back.
yeah, that's what I was about to say. It was one series. When did they rank the originals?
I don't know. I was never a Battlestar Galactica fan.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and then they brought it back in what, late 90s, early thousands?
No, it was like mid-thousands. It was like 20,
Was it
20
mid-thousands?
yeah, 22 or 2009, maybe 2010, somewhere in there.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, yeah, it was like a sci-fi thing. I think it was on the Sci-Fi Channel. I remember
Supposedly pretty
watching
good, though.
one of the, yeah, it was. I've only seen like the pilot episode, and I watched it for a film class one time when we were doing sci-fi for that week or something. I don't remember exactly. I think we were supposed to watch Starship Troopers actually, and then it got taken off of whatever streaming service it was on, and my professor was like, "Well, I have to have a free option for everyone," so we did Battlestar Galactica instead.
It was 2005 to 2009 was the rebooted series, so I apologize.
Gotcha.
I was off there.
You're close enough. But anyway, how you guys doing? It's been a long week.
It's been a long week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For more than one reason.
Yeah.
But well, I'm just glad we made it back here.
But the
Hope everyone's
squadron
doing
is
well.
here. We got each other.
Of course. Yeah. And we got
Sure.
you too, listener.
We got Independence Day right before the July 4th weekend.
Of course.
Taking
How
you,
could we
carrying
not?
you into the July 4th weekend.
Yes, there's no better way than Independence Day.
Yeah.
Put that on a bumper sticker.
Please.
Not really a
Good.
thing anymore, bumper stickers, are they?
I do kind of cringe every time I see them. I go, what is that?
Have they been replaced with like the hashtags of the world? Has like Twitter replaced the bumper sticker? Is my new
Yeesh.
thesis.
I like that. I like that.
I think you can make an argument for me. You just don't see those as much anymore. Like you don't see
Yeah.
that. You don't see the like, my son is a graduate of Streamwood High School sticker. Like you know what I mean? Like you don't see those stickers anymore on cars. It's just,
Yeah.
Definitely
I see a
not.
lot of military ones.
Yeah,
a
always
lot
the
of
thin blue line.
governmental ones.
There's just not Calvin peeing on enough stuff. You know what I mean? I miss
Yeah.
that in my life. Just seeing some guy tear assing down the highway, and you're like, see his bumper sticker of Calvin pissing on some company, Ford or something. You're like, there was a man of culture.
How dare you?
My favorite were always like the fake testicles that hang from the back of the
Ah,
car.
there you go. Yeah, not enough of those in the world anymore.
No,
I'm gonna get a
yeah,
brand
they
new
really look good.
Cybertruck and just hang a big pair of nuts on it.
Dude. that's what I'm
Actually,
gonna do when I
Elon
get
Musk will
mine.
probably do that. That will be his thing.
Actually, I think they'll
It'll be an
sell a
upgradable
feature.
Tesla.
Exactly. They'll sell an upgrade of the
They'll be Cyber nuts?
Cybertruck. You can just
I
get
don't foresee
Tesla.
Tesla being in the car game too much longer.
Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah, they don't care. They're not a car company. They're a data company.
Yeah,
He'll
true.
shut down all that shit as soon as he's got all the data he needs, and then he'll just fucking sell it to somebody else.
To Skynet.
I guess I have a hard time thinking that because I'd say in the next 10 years, so many cars are going to end up being electric anyways.
They will, but that's why he wants the data. He was one of the first people to do it, so he'll just sell all that shit to somebody else, and then that way he doesn't have to worry about manufacturing issues.
And then he could just troll on Twitter, which he owns.
Sure does.
Sure does. Well, let's get into the news here, guys. We only have one news story this week. There were a couple other ones I considered, but realized I don't really care. So we instead just have one, and it is a Formula One scripted series that is in the works at Hulu with none other than Daniel Ricciardo attached to be in it, I guess, or be a part of it in some respect. They haven't really said much.
Old
But-
DR3, huh?
DR3, but to me the most interesting part here is that it's a half-hour scripted series
Right.
is what it says. So
do you-
30 minutes, so not a movie like
Do you think it'll be
Lewis
set?
Hamilton's project is.
Do you think it'll be set like in the world of Formula One racing? Like, is it going to be called like the Paddock, and it's just like life?
Well, that's what it says. So the sentence from the Hollywood Reporter article is the Disney-backed streamer is teaming with driver Daniel Ricciardo to develop a half-hour scripted series that is set in the world of Formula One racing.
I'm taking dibs on the name the Paddock right now.
The Paddock.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
Trademark it.
Yeah, I was about to say you should trademark that quick.
I'm gonna buy all the domains.
Clip it and ship it.
This is going on a podcast. I feel like that works for copyrights, right?
Yeah, right.
I mean, it
think
shows
it's copyright.
Yeah.
Sure. You put
It's
it in
like-
the court for
It's
the
the
patent.
modern equivalent of mailing off a letter to myself.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. I am gonna watch it, but
You're
I
in?
don't know if I really was. Oh, I'm in, but like I don't know if I just wasn't expecting this.
Of
But
like
I really should have seen it coming.
of like the current Formula One drivers, he kind of probably makes the most sense out of
Oh,
out of
definitely.
those guys.
Him and Lewis Hamilton by far have the biggest personalities outside of the sport, I would say, and then probably Lando.
Yeah.
And so it definitely makes sense that he would be one to kind of jump on board with this. And I'm don't know if it stops here, to be honest. Like now that they have Hulu's doing this, I'm sure Amazon is going to want a part of the Formula One pie, because Netflix now is Drive to Survive, and then Apple grabbed the Lewis Hamilton, Brad Pitt, John Krasinski flick, and now Hulu's doing this, and I'm sure Amazon's going to get theirs, and then where does it end? I don't know, and I don't care. Give it all to me. I love Formula One, so I'm all on board.
Agreed.
Tyler, any big reactions from you?
No, I mean I'll watch anything that's got Formula One taped on it. So, but it's just good stuff, man. I don't really care, like what it is. It's always cool to see like different perspectives on different things from different people, especially when you get the point of view of people that are actually in the sport.
Sure.
So yeah, I mean, it's exciting regardless. I think it's exciting for the sport in general. The sport has just blown the fuck up in the last year, 2 years.
Sure.
Absolutely.
So it's been great.
We'll definitely have to see where this goes, but it's probably going to be a bit before we see it go anywhere. That's it for the news. No trailer talk this week, so I guess we can just get straight into the Adam Schwartz's completely subjective new to streaming
Here we
list for the
go.
week of June 26th through July 2nd. To Netflix, we're getting Mandela: Long Walk to Freedom. This is an Idris Elba helmed Oscar-nominated movie on Nelson Mandela. I don't remember seeing this back in 2013,
No, I
Yeah,
did not.
I've never seen that.
but sounds interesting. And teaser for later, it is not the only Mandela film coming to
What?
streaming services. Stay tuned. We're getting Big Daddy. This is the Adam Sandler film with the Cole Sprouse twins, and
Yeah.
I remember being a big fan of this when I was younger. So I
Wow.
thought, yeah.
I didn't know that was
Remember?
the Cole Sprouse twins, but that
Oh,
I
yeah.
see it now.
This, well,
You know what I
should
mean?
say Cole Sprouse twins, the Sprouse twins.
I was
guess.
gonna say, isn't that just one of them?
Yeah,
Sure. Yeah.
but
wow,
yeah,
no, I never put that together, but
Uh-huh.
I totally see it. Granted, I obviously saw that film before I ever saw The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody.
of course, yeah.
But yeah, wow, dude, no, that's
Isn't that
crazy.
funny?
I never put that together. Yeah.
What else we got here? We have Catch Me If You Can, Goodfellas, I Am Legend, Insidious, Mean Girls, Old School, Semi-Pro, Seven, Stranger Things Season 4 Volume 2,
Oh, wow.
The Dark Knight Rises, The Pursuit of Happiness, and The Talented Mr. Ripley, and Zero Dark 30.
Have you seen Seven?
I'm not.
That's one we could do for the pod at some point too.
I think
agree
it's
wholeheartedly.
already on our short list. I'm not. If I'm not
I
mistaken.
believe it's on HBO Max as well. It's been on HBO Max for a long time.
Well, it's about to be on Netflix, so we'll
Yeah.
have access.
Definitely.
Amazon Prime is getting Breakfast at Tiffany's, Lincoln, Mandela from '97.
Hmm.
So that's the second Mandela flick.
For all you Mandela
Then
heads out
they're
there.
getting The Raging Bull, also getting The Talented Mr. Ripley, The Time Machine from 2002, War Games, the original from '83. That's Matthew Broderick, right?
Yes.
And then House of Gucci.
House.
Hulu is getting 127 hours. Big Trouble in Little China, Bohemian Rhapsody, The Descendants, all three Expendables films, Ghost Rider, Independence Day, Insidious, the original Jumanji movie from '95. with
Sweet.
Robin Williams. Yeah, awesome movie. Sorry to Bother You from 2018, the Keith Stanfield flick there for you, Blake. And
Yep.
then Talladega Nights, The Ballad of Ricky Bobby. Also a classic. A lot of Will Ferrell
Great.
this week. Quite a bit of Will Ferrell.
Do we have Will Ferrell on
No.
our entry list? Surprisingly, yeah, I don't think we got any.
Is
We don't have
he
very many comedies.
in- He's got to be in something we've done, right? I have a hard time believing he's not on the entry
Maybe
list.
Yeah.
cameo.
I want to say like I don't. Does he make some kind of cameo in Forgetting Sarah Marshall or no?
No.
No.
Wow.
I think we might have to
Did he-
start diving into some more comedy. I'm just getting some
Yeah.
classics on here.
Did he really not be on here? Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
we're-
it's actually crazy.
we don't do a ton of comedy just because it's kind of hard to like review it that well. I guess I would say, but I don't know. We'll definitely get into it at some point. But yeah, he might not be on here. That's
Yeah.
kind of unfortunate. Anyway, back to it. HBO Max is getting Westworld season 4. Have any of you guys seen past season 2?
Nope.
I've only seen up to season 2, and then I was like,
Why?
I don't like season 2 at all.
Yeah, I didn't finish season 2.
Yeah. Season 1 was incredible, and then season 2 was like, what the hell is happening? I've heard season 3 is like not bad. I don't remember how like if people like loved it. But here's season 4. So if you're interested, it's there. They're getting Godzilla from '98.
Godzilla.
More Matthew Broderick.
Is that Matthew Broderick as well?
Yes.
Gojira.
Last Night in Soho, which we have reviewed, so go check that out. Both the movie and then our review to follow. Lone Survivor, Sleepless in Seattle, and the Legend of Zorro. Is it Legend or Legends? I feel like
Legend.
I copy and pasted, but it says Legends.
Yeah. That's the second one, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's from 2005, which I felt late, so it probably is the second one, right?
Yeah, the first one's The Mask.
That's right. All right, and then Disney Plus is getting Miss Marvel episode 4, Baymax. That's the Big Hero 6 one.
Is that a series or a movie?
I don't know,
Fair enough.
to be honest. I can try to find out here quick. Let's see if it tells me on the website.
I would assume a series.
I think it's a series, but I don't know for sure. Baymax, where is it?
Yeah, it is a series according to IMDb at least.
Okay, fantastic. And then Marvel Studios assembled the making of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I'm gonna like just have to binge those assembled at some point. I feel like it's gonna be like I feel like watching those behind the scenes is fun.
Do they have those for every film?
Most
They
of them,
have been
yeah.
doing them since WandaVision. So ever since WandaVision
Okay,
came
so
out
including
at the
TV
beginning of
series.
2020, yeah,
Yeah.
or beginning of 2021, one of the two around there. Whenever WandaVision came out, they've been doing it for every single Marvel movie and show since then. So, props to them for doing that. But anyway, we can get on into the what we're watching list in case any of that doesn't sound appealing. Hopefully, something we're watching can catch your attention. Yeah. Let's kick it off with Tyler this week.
My list is actually relatively short. Because I've really only been doing like a couple of different things. So Kirley and I have been watching The Staircase on Netflix, not the Hulu one.
No,
So
the
we're
HBO
gonna do
one.
this first because this is obviously like
The OG.
you get to see a little bit more
Yeah.
from like the actual case and the hearing and stuff. It's not like a show based on it. So
I love this. I love the original as well.
yeah. So we will we'll check that out, and then
How far are you?
we only have one more episode.
Okay. Of
So
like,
it's-
so you've gotten through like the original trial and then like
Yes.
moving on.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, because it's weird because they come back.
Yeah, it's cool. So we've been doing that. It's been really fun. And I'm a really big fan of trials and stuff like that. So yeah, super fun. And then I decided that I wanted to do another anime, but I wanted something that was going to be a little bit more nostalgic, I guess, and something that I can just kind of dig my teeth into. I didn't realize it's actually this old, but it's been around since '99. But I started watching One Piece from season 1, episode 1.
One
And
Piece.
I am currently on like 36 or something like that. So
I'll see you in 36 years.
so yeah, there's quite a bit to it, which isn't a big deal. It's definitely something that you don't overly have to pay attention to
No.
on a ton of stuff, just because there is a lot of filler episodes and stuff like that, which is totally fine. So yeah, but it's been pretty good and pretty solid and pretty fun for me. So I've been kind of thoroughly enjoying myself. And then
Adam, have you
Carolee
ever
and
seen
I,
any One Piece?
Huh?
I'm sorry. One Piece is like one of my favorites, so I want to talk to you about it a little bit.
oh yeah,
And we
what's
got
up?
time since we didn't have a ton of news or anything.
Oh, we have plenty of time here,
Yeah.
folks.
So how you feeling about One Piece? I've read all of One Piece.
Yeah, I think it's
and-
great so far.
Yeah. I know you
Yeah, I
said
think
you've
it's a lot of
watched
fun.
some of it ahead of time, or like you've seen bits and pieces before, right?
I've seen bits. Yeah, I've seen tons of different episodes and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
so just wanted to kind of put it all together though.
Gotcha. And get, like start from the beginning and see how they assemble the crew and everything.
Yep,
Cool. I'm in.
exactly. But yeah, it's been a ton of fun. So I can't knock it. That's for sure.
Are you tired of Luffy's voice yet?
No, I mean obviously I'm a vet. I'm a seasoned vet,
True.
so I understand, screaming for a long period of time and waiting for things to happen and things
Comes-
kind of just cutting off like right in the middle of the episode and
Yeah.
then just picking up. So it's not terrible. I think maybe it might be a little bit harder for somebody just coming into something like that
Right.
to it's not as digestible, I guess we'll say, for somebody that knows new anime, but
Waz has perfected the like skipping the requisite amount of like filler at the start, so you like lose like 6 minutes at the start, obviously, but it's just the stuff you've seen
Sure.
from the last episode. And so,
yeah, that's how I am with Initial D.
oh yeah, for sure.
So, but yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and I'm very excited about it. So we'll see where that goes. And then Carolee and I did get to Spiderhead on Netflix.
Ah,
Oh, we
How
were
was
talking
that?
about that last week, right?
Yeah, that's on my short list, but I didn't get to it. What'd you
Yeah.
think?
It was good. It wasn't like mind-boggling or like anything crazy, but it's a Miles Teller.
Chris
and,
Hemsworth is in there as well, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
it keeps
And then,
reminding me, like in the trailers of that Black Mirror episode, the playtest, but I'm not sure if
Sure.
that's like what it ends up actually being or anything. I'm also kind of like trying not to spoil it or watch too
Spoil
many of the
anything.
trailers. Yeah.
Yeah,
For
it's
sure.
it's cool. It's cool. It's an interesting concept for sure. But yeah, I'd say go watch it if you're interested in something that's a little bit of a little bit of just a mind mess around.
Do you think Kaczynski like shows up in there, or was he just kind of like a hired gun that was there? Like, do you feel like some of that care that he has in like Top Gun is also present in there? Or is it more just kind of like a smaller movie for him and everything? Sorry, also
It's definitely
listeners.
it's definitely a smaller movie for him for sure.
Okay, fair enough.
So it's cool. It's very small set wise. Everything kind of only really happens in the one place, but it's got really interesting character design, and obviously the acting's pretty good. You got Miles Teller Hemsworth, and then one of the main chicks in there is really good.
Cool.
But yeah, it kind of it's a little skin crawly, a little cringy sometimes, but you know it's supposed to be. So
Fair enough.
For sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna see if I can get to it.
yeah, I definitely would. But that's actually all I have. So we can go to Nathaniel.
Yeah, what up, listeners? I also had a pretty busy week, so I didn't get to a ton. One of the few things I got to actually was Man of Steel. Waz hadn't watched it for a while, so he wanted to check that out again, and then we actually watched it with another commentary from a podcast we both listen to, The Weekly Planet, playing in the background too. So, yeah, that was fun, and I think I watched that probably pretty early on. I might have been on the podcast, but it was when Tyler and I were living together too. So it was a pretty more recent watch or rewatch for me than that one. But yeah, it's still okay. I've never been like a huge Superman guy. So like when I first saw that in 2011 in theaters, that was like actually a lot of my first kind of introduction to that stuff. But it was it still does a pretty good job, I think, of like kind of introducing you to his planet and his backstory and stuff. Now going back and like having seen the Christopher Reeves version and everything, I could definitely understand why people would, feel a little different about it, because it is just, that version is just so hopeful and joyful, whereas obviously Zack Snyder has a different feeling for the Man of Steel universe, but it's still pretty good. So
Yeah.
Out of all those DC ones, that's maybe one I think gets forgotten a little bit, but it's still worth a watch.
Yeah, I think
agree.
that's one of the better ones. Yeah, I remember Ty talked about it, maybe before we watched Snyder Cut or something of that nature.
Sure.
He went back and watched it, and then that convinced me to go back and rewatch it. And that's one where I'm like, you know what? I think we got to give that movie its flowers. I think it's much better than what people remember it as.
For sure. On the anime side of things, I have started a series, another one from the 90s called Trigun. I think out of everyone, all of the squadron, Tyler's probably the one that may have watched some of it before or anything like that.
Yeah, I've seen a couple things on Trigun.
For sure.
Just from like the regular show, and then there's obviously some aftermath stuff. But yeah, it's good. I like it a lot.
Yeah, it's way funnier and kind of looser than I thought it was going to be. Like when you first, like the first like title sequence is like super 90s like metal guitar, and it's like I was expecting him to be like this cool badass the whole time, and he's much more kind of a goofier protagonist in some ways, but also has that Spike side to him from like Cowboy Bebop as well too. But yeah, I enjoy it. It's a really good show. It's about a guy that's called Vash the Stampede, who's a famous outlaw, all on this kind of like Western space planet. And he's really good with a gun. And obviously, as the story goes on, you get more of his backstory. But he's being followed by these two representatives from the insurance company that I guess like insures most of the buildings around the planet. And they're just tired of him coming into town and destroying stuff by accident. So the company's like just sends these two people after him to make sure that he doesn't destroy anything. And they're a pretty good trio. I thought it was kind of a better introduction of why people might be traveling together rather than just like, oh, we're all adventurers off together again. So as with any anime, there's always some pretty cool ideas and stuff on there as well too. So give it a shot if you think you might want to watch some 90s anime awesomeness. Couple other things I got to. I watched The Gentleman as well. I've seen it a couple times. I think, Tyler, you've seen it as well. I'm not sure if the other two have yet.
I have not.
Adam?
I have not.
Yeah. I think both of you would really
That's a good
enjoy it.
one.
Yeah. Guy Ritchie's The Gentleman, starring Matthew McConaughey, Charlie Hunnam, the guy from Succession, whose name is escaping me right now. But it's really good, kind of British gangster movie. Good time all around, I would say, for the most part. Henry Golding, if you've any Crazy Rich Asian fans out there, haven't seen it yet, go check out.
Oh, is that he's in What else is he in besides that movie? I don't know. Never mind. Forget it. Sorry.
Not a problem. But yeah, it's on Netflix, streaming now. Really, I do think like most of you guys would enjoy it. Just if you have an afternoon free. And the last thing I got to, which I believe was on our new to streaming list fairly recently, was the Quick and the Dead, which is Sam Raimi's 98 movie. I want to say.
I'm
95.
aware of it, but I haven't seen it.
Okay.
What are your thoughts?
If you guys have not seen this movie's awesome. Like it's
very
so
Sam
cool.
Raimi-esque.
Yeah, it's so it's about this town that is holding a quick draw competition, and the main character is this lady who grew up in the town and is now coming back to it for the first time. Town's in the clutches of this evil like mayor overlord played by Gene Hackman. He's the one that's setting up the quick draw competition, and every day there's everyone in the competition. Every day they have to fight. You can challenge whoever you want, and once the clock strikes like noon or whatever, they start, and then it's every hour on the hour, and you have to draw your gun when the clock strikes. The cast is insane. Like, it's from 95, so you have Sharon Stone, Gene Hackman, Russell Crowe, Leonardo DiCaprio, who's like 17 in this as well too. Tobin Bell, who Blake would know is Jigsaw from Saw. Keith David, obviously, our boy, Lance Henriksen, Gary Sinise, just like, it's just chock-a-block with just stars and other famous actors. Directed by Sam Raimi, like I said, so there's just this awesome, kind of dark humor tension to the whole thing. It's really, really good. Awesome Western. Really recommend it. On Netflix. Check it out.
Cool.
Okay.
And yeah, that was it for me this week. I will kick it over to Blake, who I think is going to talk about a movie I watched last week as well, too.
Yeah, your intuition may be correct, my man. So I got to a few things this week. First off, after Nathaniel saying he got to Martyrs last week, I figured I'd go ahead and break down and give in after probably 10 plus years of knowing what that film is just in the horror community. Caught it on Tubi, and it's as advertised, right? So for those who don't know, Martyrs is part of like the French extremity horror, where it's high tension, Adam, right? It's literally that movie, right?
It's a cousin of high tension.
It may not be for everyone, but it's very gruesome, very gory, but it is kind of dated, so you can tell like people have like suits on, and
right,
it's like prosthetics and things of that nature, right? But it's got a better story than High Tension. It's not necessarily a direct like home invasion, which at its core it is. But then there's kind of this whole other like cult of people who believe in this higher power and things of that nature. But yeah, it's cool. I don't know if everyone would like it. I would say if you're a big horror fan, I mean, you certainly should finally give in and see Martyrs if you haven't yet. Maybe I was just kind of on the outside looking in. But yeah, overall, pretty good. I was actually eating dinner while watching that, and I had to stop eating.
Oh, sure.
And I was like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I kind of knew what it was going to be, but I was like, all right, I'm really hungry. Let me just see what's going on. And then like 20 minutes in, like right after the home invasion scene, I was like, I have to like, pause this and finish my food and then continue watching this because I can't.
Yeah, it's a movie. It's a movie I'm not sure I'm ever going to watch again.
Oh, no, I'll never watch it again.
Yeah, but I am glad I've seen it. Like, I'm glad I have it in the bank, and then I went, I watched it. But yeah, it's, I don't know. I'm with you as well, too. It's an experience, and I do think, like, horror heads should absolutely go out and watch it.
It's one you should get to. Yep. If you're big in the horror community, it's definitely one you can get to. You can have conversations about Reddit threads, things of that nature. So, got to that. Another horror film I got to, which I'm surprised we didn't throw on this list because I'm the one who actually pretty much made the list for the next 4 weeks. But it's The Black Phone.
I want to see this
I don't know
so
how
bad.
that just slipped out of my radar. I think because I saw it was 4th of July, and I was like, you know what, we should just get Independence Day on there. But yeah, so got to The Black Phone this week, and that's Ethan Hawke. What the director's drawing blank? Is it Scott
Scott Derrickson.
Derrickson, thank you. Who's also same director. For those you don't know, same director did Sinister, Exorcism with Emily Rose, the first Doctor Strange movie, and Ethan Hawke, who's also in Sinister. Yep. So it's it was good. It's not necessarily groundbreaking, right, or anything new in the genre, but just Scott knows how to do tension very well. And this movie is, for lack of a better word, high tension throughout. So it's not necessarily that type of film, but it's good. I don't know off first watch. I wouldn't say it's better than Sinister. I think Sinister is his magnum opus, to be honest with you. I think Sinister is a great movie, and that's one I want to go ahead and rewatch. I haven't seen that in a very long time. But you get all the themes that you liked out of Sinister, right? So like there are sequences where characters go back in dreams, and it's filmed like in that 8mm film type thing. Like that's how you know it's a dream. So he brings that back, right? Which is obviously a very promising thing of Sinister that most people liked. He has like the children's segment in it again, which those of you who are fans of Stranger Things, things of that nature, right? Like they have like the kids basically being like the lead roles, right? So you have that. Overall pretty good. It's a kidnapping movie, right? So he's kidnapped and he's just trying to find a way out. Kind of, like I said, not groundbreaking, but it's done well. Do you remember, is it based off of a book or anything like that? Like, do you remember? It's based off a short story from the research that I've seen. I haven't read the short story, and I believe the short story is actually written by Stephen King's son.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Nathaniel probably knows his name off the top of his head, but I can't remember it.
He writes under the pseudonym Joe Hill.
Yes. Thank you.
Yep.
So it's pretty good. So after that, I kind of did some research on the short story, and Scott added a few things and additional characters. But yeah, overall, good. If you're a horror fan, I'd recommend it. If you like Stranger Things, I'd recommend it. I think it's a very palatable horror movie, right? Where you can go watch it. Few jump scares, tension all throughout. Great movie. I did that, and I also left a few thoughts of that on Letterboxd. Outside of that, another one I got to, just for a change of pace, I rewatched Project X.
Okay.
Which was on HBO Max, and I rewatched that. That was maybe Monday night. And for those of you who don't know, Project X it's a high school party movie. I feel like most people know what that is. No introduction needed. But that was the first movie I've watched in so long where I'm like, oh my God, this movie's a time machine.
Sure.
Where, like, that literally like brought me immediately back.
Isn't Miles Teller in that?
Yes. So that was going to be my point. Yeah. So I almost texted Adam like as he popped out the screen.
Sure.
Because they're like, oh my God, that's Miles fucking Teller. And then I didn't realize it at the time. And they say that, and I'm like, is it really going to be Miles Teller? And then they show him, and it really is. And I was like, wow. But yeah, man, that's the first movie I've seen in a very long time that I was like, this movie is a time machine, man. It took me back directly in time, 2012. I graduated high school in 2013. It's like this movie came out like my senior year of high school, and it was like the epitome of high school. You know what I mean? So really, really fun movie. I can see it's like my generation's Superbad. I think Superbad is a much funnier film. I'll say that much. But yeah, nonetheless, overall, great. Soundtrack's awesome. It's all music that like you would hear at parties when I was in high school. There's a ton of Kid Cudi, things of that nature. And overall, pretty good. Probably won't rewatch it again for another like 8 years, but
one of those.
Yeah, it was the first time I watched it since it had to be like 2015 or something like that, 2014. So that's what I got to. Then Independence Day. Outside of that, YouTube, ton of podcasts. I actually watched a really interesting episode of a podcast I listened to. It's called the Pivot Podcast, and it's hosted by 3 former NFL players. They usually have former athletes and stuff on there. But nonetheless, the episode they had today, they had Mike Tyson on there, who's obviously a very interesting person. So it was really cool to kind of get his brain like unfiltered, right? So he's not necessarily giving like politically correct answers and like the way he would speak to people. They're just like, they're sitting down, they're chilling, having a few drinks. And Mike Tyson's got an interesting story, man. Seems like a really good guy, and he's very smart, articulate guy, just totally different from like the Mike Tyson you grew up knowing. so he had a really good story. But yeah, that was one of the better podcast episodes I've seen in honestly quite a while. So that's all I've got. Adam?
As you can imagine, I don't have very much. But I did get around to Obi-Wan Kenobi episode 4, so I'm a little behind. But I've been just crazy busy as I, keep lamenting here week by week, and honestly don't really mind it. I
Sure.
mean, I don't love being busy, but like the fact that I haven't gotten to watch much isn't bothering me very much because, trying to stay busy. I only got 4 more. I'm almost halfway done with my trip, so which is
Yeah,
makes
fucking
sense.
wild
Time
to say.
flies. Yeah.
Right? Because it feels like I was sitting just right here my first week, and just like catching my breath. And that first week lasted forever. And then somehow I'm here since then. So it's been fun. It's been fast. But, wow, I feel like that could be a very good That's What She Said joke. But we'll leave that there. But yeah, Obi-Wan episode 4 was really good.
Yeah, I feel like that's where it really turned a corner.
Yeah, definitely. So that was really good. I am excited to finish that out. Have you guys watched? Did we talk about the finale?
I was going to say, I don't think we recapped the finale last week because I'm not sure Tyler has seen it yet, and he's AFK right now, but I have seen it. I enjoyed it a lot. We'll talk about it maybe when you're done. Oh, no,
Okay.
Tyler's coming back. He'll be here in a second, folks. Tyler, did we talk about the Obi-Wan finale last week?
No.
Okay. Adam's, he said he watched episode 4, but I'm saying maybe we'll wait to recap the finale until he's finished that.
We can wait. It's dope.
Yeah, I enjoyed it
I
as
can't.
well.
I
And I
will be
hate you for
finishing.
slacking, but it's dope.
You missed it, but I'm in DC.
You might not have noticed.
Yeah, you might not have noticed. I'm in a different time zone. Anyway, yeah, that's all I got to really. Few things here or there. As far as like YouTube videos, stuff like that. Been watching like TikTok more than I usually do.
Oh, man.
I go in and out of TikTok, but it's just been like at night when I've got like nothing to do. It's just like quick, easy, like relaxation, turn off my brain.
No,
and then I go to bed.
you're a Gen Z representative, bro. You gotta be across the TikToks for us, on the old man back row banter segment.
Once I have more time, back row banter will be on TikTok. Don't worry.
Oh, boy.
Don't you worry. Yeah, stay tuned. But I mean, I guess if I'm the last one to finish out that list, I guess we can get on into the main review segment. So welcome listeners to the main review segment of the podcast. Nathaniel, if the listener here is new or maybe they've just forgotten, can you give them a rundown of how our review segment works?
What up, folks? If you are new or maybe you've just forgotten, how the main review segment works here on Back Row Banter is it is split into 2 sections. There's the non-spoiler section, and then there's the spoiler section. It's pretty self-explanatory. In the non-spoiler section, we'll go over the movie itself, its IMDb plot summary, who's in it, who wrote it, all that good stuff. We'll go around the squadron, give our first reactions, and then we're going to decide if we recommend this movie. We have to decide yes or no. It has to be a yes or no answer. There is no nuance on the internet. From then on, it will be spoiler time. Don't worry if you don't want to have it spoiled for you, though this is a pretty old one. We will play the spoiler sound, and then you'll have plenty of time to clear out. But do come back at the end because we are going to see where this ranks up on our Entropy list, which is our big list of everything ranked. In the spoiler zone, we'll talk in our deeper thoughts about it and go over any spoilers, obviously. But with that being said, Adam, tell me about Independence Day.
Independence Day. It was July 4th, 1776.
Wrong Independence Day, Adam. You're doing a bit. I get it.
Oh, my bad. Independence Day for the world is what you mean.
Yeah.
Global
yeah.
Independence Day?
Yes, of course.
Yes, my bad. My mistake. How silly of me to assume that it was America's. That must be my DC bias,
I can tell
Just in the heart-
you've been there
heart
4
of
weeks. It's already starting
Yeah.
to infect
It's
you.
engraved in them.
Yeah, exactly. This is Independence Day, released in the year 1996, which, believe it or not, is almost 30 years ago.
You stop that. You stop that right now.
I feel like you should play like the spoiler
That's
noise,
crazy,
like
yeah.
the spooky noise, like the doo 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 doo.
Here, I'll play it
Anyway,
low. There we go.
Wow, I didn't even think of that, Adam, to be honest with you.
right? But let's not talk
I'm
about
born
that.
95.
Let's not.
Go
let's,
ahead.
Let's, yeah, we're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep going before we get sad. It's rated PG-13 with a runtime of 2 hours and 25 minutes, and the IMDb rating is a flat 7 out of 10, which to me feels a little bit low, but we'll get to that. The cast includes. Let me get the full cast list here because this is only a snippet. I skipped over the directing. Directed by Roland Emmerich and written by Dean Devlin and Roland Emmerich. So, I'm not familiar with Emmerich. Nathaniel, should I be?
He's the kind of classic disaster movie director. You know, you've got Independence Day.
He directed Godzilla '98.
Yep.
Which was on the
Sure.
The day they
on the new streaming list. He also did
The Day They Stood Still, 2012. I want to say was another one
The
of
Day
his
After
as well.
Tomorrow.
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah.
so,
Day After Tomorrow.
Disaster,
So.
disaster
I love The Day
movie
After
expert. Gotcha.
But yeah, so he and Dean Devlin kind of had a run of those for a while in the kind of like the 90s because I'm pretty sure they did The Day After Tomorrow as well. And I want to say he might have had a writing credit on Godzilla too.
I must not have come across it.
Yeah, so they had kind of a run together there for a while. That's kind of like a weird genre that has sort of kept going at certain points. Your Geostorms, and I think they came back from Moonfall as well too. So but it's more or less dead at this point. And yeah.
All right. Starring Will Smith as Captain Stephen Hiller, Bill Pullman, Jeff Goldblum, of course. Welcome back, Jeff. 3 weeks
Jeff.
out of 4. Gotta love it. Mary McDonnell, Judd Hirsch, Robert Loggia?
I believe it's Logia.
Lugia. Like the Pokemon?
Yep, exactly like him.
Nice.
Thanks. Randy Quaid, Margaret Collin. How far are we going here? Let's see.
I would say
Adam
Baldwin's the other kind
Adam Baldwin.
Vivica A. Fox.
Vivica A. Fox, who was in, wasn't that Blade?
Kill Bill.
Kill Bill.
Which I
know that
also
character.
rewatched this week. How could I forget that? But yes, she's in Kill Bill. That's exactly what she is.
Okay, I knew I recognized her from somewhere, but I forgot the actress in Blade, who plays the love interest.
Oh yeah,
I believe it's.
she was like only in Blade.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's why I wasn't sure.
Is it Sanaa Lathan? I believe.
No, that's who she plays the mom.
That's his mom, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who I think is
Well,
who
either
you were
way.
confusing for Vivica A. Fox, but yes.
Vivica A. Fox.
And the only other one I would say.
Stop there.
Yeah, the only other one I would say would be Brent Spiner, who plays the Doctor. If any Star Trek
okay.
heads are out there, obviously, Lieutenant Data.
Okay. Yes. All right. Well, there you have it. Quite a cast. It's such an interesting mix.
It really is. It's such a weird
Such
snapshot.
an eclectic group.
Because I was trying
It's
to
like a trail mix of Hollywood actors.
I was trying to think if this was prior to Men in Black, because I remember like my parents coming home with like a double pack of like Men in Black and Independence Day, and then I was looking it up. Men in Black I think was the year after this or something like that too. So
Okay.
it was kind of that, and then I think it's post Jurassic Park Jeff Goldblum too. So it's this really weird thing where Jeff Goldblum's a pretty big star. Will Smith is not a giant star yet. And then you have Bill Pullman, obviously, just running things in the background, and Randy Quaid.
Yeah.
Like, it's such an odd cast.
But it works. It works.
Yeah.
I love it. The IMDb summary reads as follows: The aliens are coming, and their goal is to invade and destroy Earth. Fighting superior technology, mankind's best weapon is the will to survive.
Welcome
to
Earth.
a lot of lines that I should probably say right off the bat. This was my first full viewing. of this movie.
Okay. Yeah.
I didn't know if I have said that yet, but I watched it. Here's what happened. Here's my little Independence Day anecdote. You guys remember the board game Seen It?
Yes.
The movie trivia?
Yeah.
Yes. When I was younger, my brother and his friends would love to play that. And I don't know why, but the music in Seen It freaked me the fuck out. Like, it scared the shit out of me whenever.
Just the
like,
background music?
there were certain like questions that would pop up, and it would play this scariest music I don't even know what it sounded like at this point in time, but it would just scare the shit out of me when I was like, what, 6 or
Listeners,
7,
if
something
you
like
were
that.
also frightened by the Scene It waiting music, please write in. I want to know if this is a thing.
Yes, please. Yeah, I need to know. I need to know I'm not alone and that my trauma has been shared. So I'm in therapy. No.
From the Scene It game.
Yeah, exactly. And so with Seen It, there was a like name this movie thing where it would like show a frame from a movie or show a few frames, and it showed I mean it's just nearly it's a 25-year-old movie, I'm gonna say it, but the aliens in the bunker.
Yes.
I'll leave that as vague as possible. And so between that and the music, I was just like, nope, I'm done. And I like walked out of the room whenever they were playing it. And it was like the middle of the day too. Like, I don't know why I was so scared shitless of this music, but like I couldn't do it. And I walked out, and I think at one point, like I'd watched like 30 minutes of this movie when someone else was watching it, like at my house. And then I realized what movie it was, and like I had just such an
noped
aversion
out of
to it
there?
that I just left. Yeah, so I just didn't watch it. So that's my Independence Day tale. I've pushed through and overcome my fear, and finally sat down through a whole viewing of it, and I'm very glad I did. This movie's incredible. I love it. This movie's great.
Okay, yeah, I'm surprised you feel that highly of it.
No, I was on board the instant I put this on. Actually, I'm such a fan.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
So that's a recommend then for you, right?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, this is a lot of fun. I think the thing I like about this most, I mean, I don't know if it's I'm not spoiling anything here, but this is more of a thought that I would give in spoilers, but we'll talk about it anyway. This movie like doesn't waste any time at all. Like you start with the aliens, and they're there and they're coming, and the first act is really a huge climax, really. And they, a lot of the times what you'll have in these movies is you'll see a lot of these characters, what life was like before the aliens invaded, but everyone knows what life was like before the aliens invaded because it was everyday life for us. Like there's nothing special about this world. Essentially, it is just it is what everyday life is like.
Right.
So they don't have to show you much of that. They give you one scene for each character of what life was like, a little bit of backstory, a little bit of like setting things up further down the line, and then you're in it. You're in it, and aliens are here, and what the fuck's happening, and you're just right there. And like 5 minutes into the movie, like you're like the tension's already high as fuck. Like you are just right there, and I think that's really impressive, and it kind of just holds it the rest of the way. A little long, but it's like I don't know how much I would cut. There's just a lot of different storylines happening, and eventually they all kind of merge together, of course. But it's a little long. That would be probably my only gripe, but I'm not like mad about it. It's not like I felt the length, but I was just like, oh man, this is a long movie, that kind of thing. But definitely a recommend, especially for Independence Day.
For sure.
Fun times.
Yeah, definitely. I'll go second. This is the first time I've seen this movie in a while. I will say that much, and definitely the first time I've watched it in its entirety in one sitting in a very long time. But it's a movie I kind of grew up watching in the background between my dad. I have an older brother, things of that nature. So it's cool. I mean, it's a fucking 90s action movie, fellas. Like there's cheesy lines. There's like, what I mean? It's like it's very nostalgic when you watch it. So not like my favorite 90s action movie by any means, but I can sit back and watch anytime. It's got 90s Will Smith. He's got some funny lines. And then at the end of the day, it's also like a holiday movie, quote unquote, where like it's really easy to come across this on Independence Day. Right. Whether it's like on TNT, HBO, whatever it is, just growing up, this would always come on somehow during the summer. And I'd sit and be like, oh, I'll watch this. So, yeah, I'd recommend it for those who haven't seen it. I don't think you can get me to recommend the sequel, though. I'll tell you that much. But, yeah, that's my 2 cents. Ty?
Yeah, man, this is classic older brother dad movie. This is something that I got brought onto by either one of those. Take it, you pick it. But yeah, man, it's definitely got a nostalgic factor behind it for sure. It's such a massive movie, when you actually think about it. And it's really truly one of those things that I would qualify as like one of your first like big blockbusters. And I think it does such a great job at a couple different things that we can definitely get into. But you know, for 1995 and where this thing was at, it's pretty crazy to see what they did with, you know, obviously what they had. And cool how they tie some other things in there. You know, they kind of get you thinking about, you know, what the government actually is hiding, which is always a fun way to kind of tie it back to the actual viewer. Yeah, man, this is a recommend for me for sure.
Yeah, I'll finish up the Squadrons. I don't know. I maybe a little bit kind of different take than many people were expecting. I actually kind of have a similar story to Adam, in which I watched this movie probably when I was 5 or 6 years old, and didn't really like it. Didn't really have a great time with it. And unlike kind of like Tyler and Blake, it just was not one of those movies that was really on all that much at my house. So consequently, I don't have very much kind of nostalgia for it beyond just kind of like people, you know, I've seen the White House blowing up thing like a million times on a million demos or whatever. Like I think for a while there in like the mid to early thousands, it was like the go-to thing of like Blu-ray is here. They're blowing up the White House in Blu-ray now or whatever, you know? So I think I saw a couple of bits in that, and then it really wasn't until a couple of years ago that I sat down and watched the whole thing and in its entirety again, and then, you know, watching it here now. It's good. I don't I don't have that same nostalgia lens of everything. I think the scale's awesome. I think like what Tyler was saying, the miniatures are super awesome, and like as you were saying, as one of those event blockbuster, holy crap, remember when we made movies like this kind of things, it still holds up in those sense. But there is a lot of dialogue, character situations and stuff that are pretty dated at this point, I would say too. But there's also like these just insane bits of it that you're just kind of like, how was this a thing in the 90s? Like there's one character that's like, you don't want to die a virgin on like on the eve or whatever. I was like, you're both 12. Like, what is happening right now? How did this get past the censors? But yeah,
there were none back then,
right? Yeah. So in that sense, it's still cool to like definitely watch it. But I found myself kind of checking out a little bit in the latter second half of this movie until Randy Quaid came back on screen. But yeah, still, it's a recommend. It definitely has its place. Like Blake was saying, you know, on the July 4th weekend, you know, a lot of times I think in American households, this movie gets screened once or twice. And it is super pro-America. But, yeah, still recommend. Check it out if you somehow never seen it. It's definitely worth a watch to kind of, you know, as that snapshot, I would say, overall. I think
Is that everybody?
Yeah, that's the Squadron.
Fantastic. Well, we're going to hop into spoilers. So if you have not seen Independence Day and do not want it spoiled for you, go ahead, check that episode description where I've left a timestamp you can jump to where you'll be taken to our ranking of the movie Hop Upon the Entropy list.
Hop Upon.
Spoilers.
Shit goes down.
Shit goes down.
Shit comes down.
Extraterrestrial shit. Shit comes down. Shit goes up, and then shit comes back down. Yeah.
What does this movie make you think of in like in modern day America? It's just so hard to kind of like wrap your head around the nation coming behind one man as president with like a singular voice. I feel like
no
like,
way. No. That's kind of like
so weird.
Yeah,
this was back when West Wing was hopping. You know what I'm saying?
Right?
Like,
yeah, for sure.
Understand where we're at.
Yeah,
it's in the middle of the 90s.
I had two thoughts on this, Nathaniel. One very similar to that stance of like, wow, I wish like the country could be that united behind something. And the other one was also like, if this movie was made now, that would be The Rock, because The Rock stars in every fucking disaster. I'm saving the world movie, you know. So
right,
The Rock's president.
President The Rock.
Yeah. So I don't know, but yeah, that's just kind of a funny takeaway. I was like, man, I've seen The Rock.
Absolutely, you're
Five
100%
world-ending
correct.
Movies.
This is a huge side note, but I want a movie at some point where The Rock plays like 3 or 4 different characters.
Fair enough.
I don't know how they do it, but
Like a
I
Michael
need
Myers
him.
type
Plays the
of
I
same
need
character
him.
in every movie though.
Yes, no, but I'm saying like, what if we put them all in one? Like, what if
It's
he's
like-
every character?
It's like the
You want him like heavy
Expendables
costumes,
of The
so you
Rock.
can't notice him as one character, and then
Oh, so like
Yeah.
an Austin
Yeah.
Powers type deal.
correct.
Sure. Yeah.
Men, but with The Rock.
Which
yeah,
one?
Yeah. There you go.
Oh,
Anyway,
men,
that was a
men,
huge
but
side
with The
tangent.
Rock.
Just a
Yeah,
thought that
yeah,
popped up
Men with
that I
The Rock.
felt that I should share.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Alright.
Is this movie weird coming off Top Gun, and like seeing
Yes.
them
Yes,
in
that's all I could think of.
in
That
the
is
the
all I
fighter
could think
pilots where like his buddy Harry Connick Jr. is just like Goose to the extreme. Like they're like, we can't just do straight up Top Gun. One, we gotta have a black guy, and two, we gotta we gotta out Goose.
Right.
Yeah. I was shocked they didn't start singing Great Balls of Fire at some point. I was waiting for it, you know.
Yeah, that was
Maybe like a one-liner.
I like the Cigar Factory. I
That
think
was
it's
good.
I like the cigar too.
Yeah, the cigars are
Especially
good.
At the end when Jeff Goldblum was like, "I thought these would kill me," and he ends
Not
up
over
just
till the
smoking.
fat lady sings. Stop worrying about the fat lady. You're obsessed with fat
Yeah.
lady.
God, I
You get
love
a-
Jeff Goldblum.
You do get a
Must go
a
faster.
Jurassic Park recall. Must go faster.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, I
Jeff,
didn't even catch that.
Jeff Goldblum
Yeah, it's
is
when they're flying out of the mothership and the doors are coming in, and he's like, it's closing, and he's like, yeah, I got it. And he's like, must go faster.
Yeah.
That's one thing that always tripped me out about this movie, right? All right, so in the end, Randy Quaid makes the noble sacrifice, drives the missile into the world engine or whatever you want to call it of the ship, the big gun, the what is it in Star Wars? I just completely
Death
lost
Star.
it. Death Star.
Star?
Thank you. Gosh, Death Star Ray. Yeah,
Is World Engine from Man of Steel?
yeah, it was. It was.
I was like, what is that from?
The world engine.
But
That's
oh, thank you, sir. Personal pizza delivered right now. Courtesy of Waz.
Waz sighting.
Thank you, Waz. Yeah, we got Waz and Aaliyah on this one. Where was I going with that? But then, like, afterwards, they're like, all right, go tell all the other people that this is our plan. Does everyone else just find one kamikaze guy to just fly into the plane or into the gun?
Well,
Or
the
do
funny
Yeah.
part is like when they show like the like tribes people that are like out in Africa
Right.
and they have like spears and shit. What did they do? They don't have a
exactly?
jet.
And then there's the one bit where they're like all of the other like pilots are around the world and they're like, America's saying that we're gonna attack, and they're like, oh, jolly good, thank God they're finally doing something. It's like, what have you guys been doing the whole time? Like,
Yeah.
oh, everyone's just waiting around to find out what America is doing. I loved that bit.
Of course. Yeah. Follow America's lead. Very
Yeah, it's great that
nationalist.
he goes from like a bush pilot, like a shitty ass airplane, and he just knows how to operate like an F-15.
Yeah, they're like the
Right?
pilot's like, well, these
Yeah.
F-18s are a little bit different than what you're doing. It's like they seem to have been adapting
figure it
pretty
out.
well. Yeah.
And they would never, ever let the president get involved, especially go like fly a jet. He's like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm going. He's like, what do you mean? He's like, all right, good luck. What?
Right.
Nah, I love
happen.
that. You know what? I'm with you, but I was like, you know what? No, this works. This
great.
100% works.
In the
Fucking great.
in the
Also,
all-time
It works for the film. you
Yeah.
know?
Anyone
Go
who
ahead.
hasn't flown an F-18 or F-14 or whatever the hell they are in this one would be just instantly like knocked out by the G-forces once they
just
got up in the air.
vaporized.
Yeah. That's why
Yeah.
it's tough watching this after Top Gun to Nathaniel's
Oh,
point.
of
It's like
course.
you see like the realism behind that.
Sure.
And then it's just like, I don't know, man. The
Yeah.
sci-fi action with aliens, bro. Like, fuck all realism, fuck gravity. Nothing exists. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
But at the same
There
time,
are-
there's a certain charm in it too. I think in just that like, yeah, of course they're gonna do it. We'll figure it out. Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
True. There are two shots in this movie that will forever like stay with me. One of them is the dog in the tunnel reaching
Boomer.
the maintenance room. and doing an Indiana Jones as the city like collapses, and then the other is like when Randy Quaid is about to fly into the death laser, and what's his face, Adam Baldwin goes, "Who is this?" And he salutes on his side of the radio. I'm like, "Who are you saluting to?" I just thought that was really, really funny.
Yeah, hello boys, I'm back is still one of the best lines.
What'd you say?
Where he's flying in and he's like, "Hello boys, I'm back."
I'm back. What does he say? Payback's a bitch, ain't it, or something like that?
Yeah. That's a great character, great storyline and introduction. I don't think the movie would be as good without Randy Quaid out there.
And I was so turned off by it in the beginning, and then little by little I saw what they were going with, and I liked it more and more as they went on.
Yeah, I think overall nowadays it's probably viewed a little crazy. But back then it was definitely like I said, I think it's well deserved to be called a blockbuster at the time. And you really don't. You'll never get the sense of like the sheer size of this thing unless you see it in a movie theater, which if you get the chance to, I definitely recommend to, because that's where it belongs. It's just one of those movies. But the sheer size of this. They talk about the size of the ship, and there's like basically a giant cloud that's kind of hovering it, and it's pretty crazy to kind of think about everything that actually happened. And the miniatures are really great. They're really well designed.
Absolutely.
The overall like CGI and stuff that they had to use at the time was really well done. You can obviously see some
there's a
issues
compositing
now.
Yeah, there's a compositing shot towards the end of like Will Smith and I think Vivica A. Fox that are like from behind, and there's just a thick black line going around like both of their heads.
And then some of the explosions, like the explosion in the tunnel where she's kicking the door in, just looks like trash.
Really quick, speaking of explosions, the opening moments of the film when they have that satellite crash into the spaceship.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Why is it causing an explosion? What is
There's no air in space, yeah.
Yeah,
This was the 90s. We still had air. We still had air in space in the 90s.
And the other thing too is whenever the alien ships are attacking the bases, like it looks pretty cool as they're like flying in and they're moving laterally a lot. But then if you like track their lasers, like half of them have explosions, half of them don't. And I just thought that was really funny.
Yeah. I think one of my favorite things about this movie is definitely when they start talking about Area 51 and they start going like down, and it's like it's in that little base. Yeah, and he's like, they're talking to that crazy doctor, and he's like, "You want to see the freak show?"
Yeah,
like you get the door, and you got the tubes, and it's funny because they make it sound like these aren't the same aliens, and then it turns out like these are the only form of aliens that have kind of been here before. But it is cool when they're like, I had a toy that was of the exoskeleton. With all the tentacles and everything like that, and you actually like had to take like the little knife that came with it,
cut them open.
And you had to cut it open, and then like the face would just pop open, and then there'd be like little layers of like rubber there that you kind of had to get, and then there was just a little guy sitting in there.
That's awesome.
And so we had like the smaller spaceship that Will Smith and Jeff Goldblum were in.
Sure.
So we had a lot of these toys. Like I said, this is definitely a nostalgic movie for Justin and I for sure. But yeah, that's probably one of my favorite parts is the way that was designed, and that shot overall where they kind of gave it flesh and you got to kind of see the organs and everything from the aliens, and that was something that I will always hold pretty close to my heart, because that was like sheer childhood, like dissecting an alien, like holy fuck.
Right. I have the movie on rewatch here in the background. I just got to the bit where Will Smith is piloting through the canyon and then blows up takes down the other fighter that's trailing him.
Yeah.
And there's a bit where he's just like, "Wait till I get another plane." It's like, you realize how much those cost, and you saw how many of them the other guys had. They probably have more than you. Like, that's bad. You just crashed that plane.
Too funny.
It's a silly movie that I enjoy as well, but it's like I think Adam says, it's good for an event watch too, you know?
Yeah, it's
yeah.
a perfect holiday film, and you even get Will Smith's character where like he even gives you the holiday reference where he's like dragging the alien across the desert, and he's like, "I could have been at a damn barbecue," or whatever his line was. Like, you know what I mean? You just get like those bits that are just. It's an easy quotable on the 4th of July to say something like that. So, yeah, it's fun. 90s fun action movie, man. There's no way around it.
Facts.
Yeah, Jeff Goldblum's dad is also really funny.
Judd Hirsch.
His character had to grow on me, but I came around to it.
And
he was really funny.
I like too that he's like, yeah, well, you're getting all this tax money. What are you guys doing with it? And then you're like,
yeah.
They slowly reveal that it's going to Area 51. He's like, oh, you don't think it really costs that much to build a road or whatever, right? Like,
yeah.
Just very peak 90s, like Jewish dad, like stereotype as well, too.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
He's
Really
like
fucking
upset at him for being airsick on the president's jet and stuff. Like,
yeah. He's like, it's Air Force One.
Jeff Goldblum's dad is fucking hilarious.
that's what we were just talking about.
Oh, was it? Sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's fucking, you know, slapping him and shit and still trying to be his dad. It's always funny. I think it's always funny that it's just a virus
Yeah, I was just gonna
that
say
takes him down.
a very peak 90s with the skull as well too, like what we thought the internet was gonna be as well, obviously.
Of course. Yeah.
Like in Jurassic Park, we get the not another or not the magic word, and this one you get the little like squeaking, chattering skull for the like the aliens are gonna know what that means, you know?
Yeah.
Love.
Man. Fun. It's just fun.
Yeah,
And
it's a popcorn flick.
Oh, it's so good at doing exactly that.
Well, like this is what.
it just.
Go ahead, Adam. Finish your thought, and I'll.
I was gonna say it's just really fun and engaging, and like you don't get these kind of movies anymore that are disaster movies that are
Not at
do
all.
both of those.
Yeah, I was gonna say this has morphed into the Fast and Furious. Like this is what the Fast and Furious are now. Like this scale of budget, but no, like where everyone goes and sees it and everything, and like it's like has that same kind of dumb logic to it as well too, where you just don't question it, you just go with it, you know. But now it's just instead of it being one giant movie that some guys like, hey, what about when aliens attack the world? It's the 10th thing in the franchise, and that's the only way we get movies these size these days, you know.
Which also goes back to my theory of having The Rock be in this film if it's made now.
Yeah, 100%, man. I think you're right. I think I wouldn't be surprised if there's an Independence Day reboot in a few years from the director of Rampage, and we got The Rock out there.
Oh my god!
Imagine.
I'm down.
I'm there. Yeah, you got me.
Have you seen that Rampage movie? Side tangent.
I have not, but I
No.
Man,
can imagine.
that movie sucks.
Speaking of which, the second one I just never went and saw in theaters, and I from
There's a
what
Rampage 2?
No, Independence Day.
Oh, I was like, oh my god. Yeah, I haven't even. Actually, I have seen the second one, but I did not see it in theaters. I watched it with my dad at home.
Resurgence, right?
Yeah.
Isn't it just the same movie?
I have no idea. I haven't
For
seen
the
it.
most part.
I'm kind of intrigued now.
I don't know. I wouldn't recommend it. The first one's done so much better. The only thing that I do like about the second one, it has, I can't think of her last name. I think it's Monica something, but it's the lead and It Follows. So she just has like a special place in my heart.
Oh, yeah.
Me catching It Follows on a random movie night. But she's in there as well. So like, I remember watching and I was like, oh, she's in this movie. You know, it's like, that was my one takeaway.
Micah Monroe, I think is her name.
Something
like that.
Actually.
But yeah. Go watch It Follows, folks, because it's a great movie.
That's
For sure.
Very good. Sorry, what were you saying?
No, I'm watching the movie and just like calling out random scenes now too, just to fill time as well, because we got some moments here. But go ahead.
Micah Monroe.
Micah Monroe, yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
I was gonna say we haven't even brought up one of the most famous speeches of all time.
Does it hold up?
100%.
I thought so. You know, because I've heard or I've seen clips of that speech, and obviously I've heard like lines from it too. You know, the whole like "we will not go quietly into the night" kind of thing.
Which is a play, or which is a poem.
Yes, that's what I'm. Yeah, I know, but I understand the reference to the movie basically.
Yeah,
from
sure.
Yes. So I've seen all that, but seeing it in context, in case and everything
Where
that
he,
was,
yeah,
and then
it kind of comes out
yeah,
of
it
nowhere
does-
too.
yeah,
Because he's kind of just like, oh, they have bad morale or whatever, and then he just kind of brings them all together.
exactly, and the idea that it was just on the spot, from the heart, pure American patriotism, which
right.
of course is just uniting the world under America's plan, basically.
But here's the back row showdown, the back row beatdown.
Okay.
Independence Day speech, or Theoden's speech to the Rohirrim to get them to ride into
Fuck out of here! It's not even a contest.
the death speech where he's running down the sides of the horses, screaming death as they charge into Gondor. What are you going with? You need to get pumped up.
Is that a Star Wars reference?
No, it's Lord of the Rings.
Oh,
the Rings.
see? Yeah, I'm out on that one too. I haven't seen Lord of the Rings, fellas.
Tyler's
You
a
just
single.
see Tyler leaves the room.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah, I know.
a single tear just rolled down Tyler's cheek.
Discord noise.
You look at your phone and you're gonna text me to see what
I'm
happened.
just
Tyler also
removed
left
from
group.
chats. Yeah.
We post the episode and Tyler's picture is no longer in the logo.
And you're just confused because you're like, I didn't edit anything. How did you do that?
Yeah, how the fuck did he get it?
He doesn't even have the
A
login.
skull pops up on my computer and says, ha ha ha.
So Tyler's going Theoden's speech then. I'm probably going Theoden's speech as well too, I think. That's
I would
just
have to rewatch that one because it's been a while since I've rewatched.
Oh,
that
if you
one.
ever just need like a pump up, just like go on YouTube and search Theoden's speech. You'll be ready to run through a brick wall.
I'm sure. I remember like
The Independence
what you're
Day one
talking
too.
about, but it's yeah.
Yeah, the Independence Day
Yeah,
one
no,
too
this
as
one's
well.
just
It's
really good.
getting back on topic. It is a great speech, and I think more presidents should use it. Just like a State of the Union or whatever. Just start going for it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, definitely not like to incite a riot or anything like that, right?
No. This is to battle the aliens, the extraterrestrial aliens, not foreign
course,
or
of
domestic
course.
aliens.
The ones that Congress doesn't know anything about.
Yeah.
Do you guys think we'll see aliens in our lifetime? Serious question.
I
We already have.
Like, do you think it will be like, you'll definitely be able to be like, yes, we've had contact with aliens?
Not until
This new James Webb telescope, I think will actually I think the longer that's out there, the better chance that we have, because one of its first missions is to just start looking at star systems that have habitable planets that are similar to ours. And I think with that technology, we are expected to be able to see signs of life.
That is one thing in this movie that I liked when they go into the Area 51 bit and they're like, they answer the question of why do the aliens come here? They're like, oh, they're similar to us. They breathe oxygen, and they have hot and cold or temperatures or whatever. I was like, oh yeah, duh. They would just go find a planet that's similar to theirs. Like it's so easy for why they would show up. And similar to me, that thought, I don't think we'll have proof of other alien life until we find it ourselves, kind of thing. Like, I think because we haven't done it and we are limited to this planet and what this planet's technology, a race similar to ours would be at the similar rate of evolution and
technology.
everything. Yeah.
Their evolution is where we're at.
Yeah.
But consider this: life that started billions of years before ours is going to be billions of years ahead.
True, but then they got to come billions of years here too. I just think
That's what you're saying.
I'm just saying, I think it's that's a known paradox or something like that. But because we haven't done it, they haven't done it yet either, or something like that. I don't know. Someone smarter than me talked about it.
Whatever
Look it up.
limitations there are.
Right. Yeah.
Well, I know there's the Fermi's paradox, when it comes to extraterrestrial life, where it's maybe there is no way to sustain extraterrestrial or interstellar travel, something like that.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking
I forgot
of.
what it is exactly.
Mm.
Yeah, but it's
that's probably
it's
more
the
likely.
thing where it's have we just not seen it, but they existed so long before ours that there's different stages of civilization,
And
and
we're
like every
unable to
time that a
comprehend.
different civilization gets to this stage, they off themselves essentially. Like something happens where the civilization goes extinct, and we are nearing that point that we theoretically think could, thumbs up.
Double thumbs up.
Theoretically think that other civilizations that have gotten to that point in technology or been close ended up perishing, and that's why we haven't seen it yet. Because maybe it's happened, they are not around anymore.
And we haven't been able to observe it yet.
Yeah, I think it's something like that. But again, this James Webb Telescope is really fucking cool.
Go get him, Jimmy.
See what comes from that. Yeah,
I think it'll always be hidden from the general public.
Fair enough.
Unless it's very blatant and somebody captures it to where it can't be snuffed out somewhere.
Yeah, that's always the thing, isn't it? Why is it always shot on like a brick?
It's always going to be hidden.
It's always shot on.
It's like 2020. It's like, we've sighted aliens. It's like shot on a razor. It's like, dude, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, you shot that on a potato.
It's like how many times people have seen like Bigfoot now, and it's like, of course you can't see him because it was just dog shit like quality. But like, my camera can zoom in 100 times and still be better than that quality. Like, how's nobody seen him?
The old Mitch Hedberg joke. I think Bigfoot is just a blurry creature. He is very out of focus.
I never heard that. That's actually really funny. It's like VHS.
Yeah.
Like the glitch segment.
Yeah.
All right. Let's put it on the list.
Put this one to bed. Throw up on the list.
Yeah. Let's go up and throw her up upon. Welcome back, listeners who have skipped over the spoiler segment of the podcast. We're going to go ahead and rank. Give me 1 second, actually, because someone is knocking on the door. I will be right back.
Ooh, a mystery intruder, folks. A gentleman caller. A suitor. I'm going to pause for station identification. You're listening to Smooth Jazz, KYOT, the Coyote, on BRB Radio.
But yeah, Nathaniel, you should get to the black phone, dude.
I do want to see it, yeah. I like Joe Hill.
We were talking, and I was like, how is this not on the fucking list?
Yeah.
Yeah, I fumbled that one for sure, fellas.
I like Joe Hill. He wrote, what was it, Horns as well, too? Did you ever see that? With Daniel Radcliffe?
I didn't see that, but it's ringing a bell.
Yeah.
Is that the one with Harry Potter?
Yeah. It's pretty decent. It's on I want to say it's on a streaming service. It like almost always is. But then
Daniel Radcliffe. I think last time I saw it was on Netflix.
Yeah, he also wrote the comic book Lock and Key, the graphic novel, and that's really good. They did a Netflix adaptation of it though, and that is not as good, but maybe listeners might want to check that out too.
Okay.
Were you guys filling?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow, amazing. I was planning on cutting, but I guess I'll just keep it in.
There's like 5 seconds of maybe dead air in there, but
that's 5 seconds. The listeners can skip over if they feel so inclined. I don't
5 seconds to where they can gather their thoughts to see where they'd put it on the list.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. I'll look at it later. Anyway, someone needed to store his bike in here, which I've seen it in here before, and then I locked the door, and then he just kept knocking. So I was like, gonna ignore it, and then didn't.
Nice.
What a good Samaritan. At least you let him.
Yeah.
At least he knows his bike is safe for a night, right?
Or
yeah, well,
Adam takes it and goes on.
I was Adam's thief.
No, I don't need a bike. I just need a scooter.
Scooter gang.
Heyo. Welcome back, listeners who skipped over the spoiler segment of the podcast. We're going to go ahead and rank Independence Day up upon the Entropy list. For those of you who do not know, the Entropy list is Back Row Banter's official list of every movie we have reviewed, regardless of genre, regardless of anything else, all on one fantastic list. It's essentially how we rate our movies rather than do it out of 5 stars, out of 10, whatever it is. We throw up all the movies we review on a list and see how they compare to one another. If you'd like to reference the Entropy list for yourself, you could do so by checking the episode description where it is linked to my Letterboxd.
I have thoughts, maybe. I think I'll go first unless anyone else is rearing to kick it off.
Or up there,
Your
bud.
thoughts, Chow?
So originally I kind of like immediately just saw Die Hard and I was like, that's kind of similar. And then I went one row down below and saw The Rock and I was like, that feels more kind of where I immediately go to on this one. And right next to it is Top Gun. I don't think, as we've kind of talked about, for me, I think Top Gun slides in a little bit above that. But then there's Insidious right below that. I'm going to give it to Insidious on this one, but I am going to slot it right below Insidious and right above The Notebook, which is at 66.
You know what? That's I was about to agree with you, but then I realized how much I love The Notebook, so I'm going to go 67.
Okay.
Right below you. Right below you.
I'm going to be a little higher. I was originally looking for The Rock when I said it in my head, and then I saw like District 9 and I was like Alien Invasion-ish. That's at 44, but then I kind of looked at everything in between, like where you guys are at and where 44 is, and I was like, man, there's some pretty decent stuff in there. And then I also saw Die Hard. So I will be just under Die Hard at 60.
Yeah, I'm closer to tie. I simply don't like Eternals, so I'm going 61.
Fair enough.
You're putting it above Top Gun? Oh, actually, you didn't love Top Gun.
I didn't care for Top Gun that much, so like I'm also have a biasness in that.
I love Top Gun, but I think this, on a time period standpoint, I think this holds up better than Top Gun.
Big call, but okay.
Yeah.
I can buy it.
I could also buy it.
Because like
Top
when
Gun
you look at this, it's like this has like a full like kind of like plot to it. When you look back on like the original Top Gun, which is like something they improved on vastly in the newer one, is like there's actually a mission, there's a plot. The first one, it's just you're just trying to be the best, and so there's like a lot of one-liners. It gets a little cheesy sometimes.
Yeah.
So I think this stands up a little bit better.
I agree, and I like it more than The Rock. But yeah, the rest is kind of self-explanatory. I do think Die Hard is a tad bit too low on the list though, so that's why I can't put it.
Yeah, it definitely is, but that's just an unfortunate symptom of the entropy list. Maybe we'll adjust it one day. Maybe we'll figure out where this ranks, because it was 66, 67, 60, and 61.
Yep.
Divided by 4 equals 63.5, meaning we tie
it's The
break
Rock.
with The Rock.
Look at that.
This is a
The
7.
Rock. The Rock is probably higher if I had to guess.
Yeah, I would bet it is.
This was a 7.0. The Rock is 7.4. So The Rock will edge it out ever so slightly.
Oh, so it's right next to Top Gun.
Fair enough. The three movies we were talking about the
Yep.
most are.
I think that shows the entropy list is working.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I think that just kind of shows you like genres can only be maybe there's a ceiling for different genres,
Who knows? Yeah.
almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, almost.
Or at least in our view.
And
Sure.
yeah, sure.
But
This is
that's
all
that
very
matters,
subjective.
is our view, though, right? For
Yeah.
this list.
Here it does. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, of course, this list is subjective, but isn't there kind of an objective way that we've done in the past to check if it is objective?
Well, it's still subjective ratings.
True, but it's like collective subjective ratings. That's
Yeah.
like the best we have for like getting a
We can
score
get
for these,
we
right?
can get into the philosophical side of it, the heuristics.
What I'm teasing here, ladies and gentlemen, of course, is our 2-year anniversary episode.
Oh yes.
Next week. It's been 2 whole years. I started this when I was a wee lad of 19 years old. Technically, it was like a week before I turned 20, but I still like to say 19. It sounds a lot better that I started a podcast at 19 than 20.
It does. You
But
still
anyway.
are technically a teenager at that point.
You're right. Yeah, exactly. Sounds a lot better.
Yeah.
Anyway, next week we're gonna do our 2-year anniversary episode and do basically what we did last year. I had a conversation with Papa Schwartz the other night. He goes, you guys just did the episode 100, retrospective. What could be so different about the 2-year in review? Well, let me tell you, Papa Schwartz and other listeners who are curious, it's going to be similar to our 1-year anniversary episode, where it's the entropy list in review, if you will. I don't know exactly what we're doing, because I remember last year when we talked about it, we discussed potentially just doing like our top 10 movies that we reviewed in the past year, rather than doing the top 10 movies of the entropy list as a whole, because a lot of them would overlap with our lists from last year. So I don't know. We'll figure it out amongst the squadron and then come back and be prepared for that next week. But listeners, there's not much for you to watch between now and then. Watch anything off the newest streaming. Watch the recommended.
Black Phone. Go see the Black Phone.
Or what we're watching. Go see Black Phone. There you go. We initially were going to do Elvis this week, and then Independence Day we were gonna release an Independence Day episode on July 4th, and then we were gonna do the 1 year in review. But we realized that we're all very busy. It's also July 4th weekend, and getting 2 episodes in this week was going to be asking a lot. So we just decided to skip over Elvis. So maybe go see Elvis. I've heard it's very good.
Yeah, heard good stuff about that as well too.
Yeah, you have options. But join us next week for the 2-year anniversary extravaganza, if you will. Nathaniel, do we have a 5-star review?
We do not have a 5-star review, but if you want to have a 5-star review read out on the podcast, you just got to review us in Apple Podcasts or Spotify. I guess you can now too as well. Excuse me. And if you do so, I will read out that 5-star review on the podcast. It can be mean, it can be funny, it can be nice, it can be lovable. Just don't be evil, and it has to be 5 stars. Otherwise, I won't read it. Sorry about that. Adam, get us on out of here, homie.
Would love to. You can share the podcast, share it with a friend, a family member, maybe an extraterrestrial if you ever find one of those. If you do, please record on anything above 720p 30. Like, just make it visible. I mean, I'm not even asking for 1080 HD. I just want to see it and get proof, and that we can go from there.
See
and,
if
the government can stop hiding things.
Grab it on portrait mode.
There you go. Yeah. Portrait mode. I mean, most iPhones do. I mean, most phones do 4K 30 at least. Most of them do 4K 60. I mean, could you imagine seeing an alien recording that shit in 4K and it looks really good on your OLED?
There you go.
I feel like I'm advertising for someone. I don't know who. Anyway, share it, the podcast. We're coming up on 2 years, and it's a very exciting time to get on board with Back Row Banter. So make sure you spread the word. You can follow us on Twitter at BanterRow, on Instagram at BackrowBanterPod, and on YouTube we're just BackrowBanter. And then our email is BackrowBanterPod@gmail.com for any questions, comments, concerns, grievances, anything of that sort. And I also would love it if you would email in and tell us something about, or for the 2-year episode. Tell us, your experience with Back Row for the past 2 years, any special memories you have while you were listening to an episode, or one of the things you remember from one of the episodes or early episodes, whatever it is, or how long you've been listening, that kind of thing. Just send it in. We'd love to hear it, and we'd love to read it out on the podcast. So send it our way to BackrowBanterPod@gmail.com so we have some things for the show. BlakeHolder, where can the people find you at, my man?
Yo, Letterboxd all day on their logs and things. You could find me, BlakeHolder. I actually left some thoughts on the Black Phone. So go ahead, tap into that. And we'll keep it pushing on there with rating things out of 5 stars. So that's where you got me. We'll go to Ty.
Twitch.tv/UltraBajo87. I do stream there. We do have fun. And there's a good chance I'm going to be on after this. And then Letterboxd, Twitter, and Instagram are all Tyler Vidalis, VID, ALES. Nathaniel?
You can find me on Twitter and Letterboxd @NSGingrich. You can find me on Instagram @NathanielG92. Sandpiper Tapes is my other podcast. And Adam, close us on out.
That's it for episode 108. Independence Day. Have a happy 4th of July, everyone. Whether you're barbecuing, watching the fireworks, watching Independence Day, listening to an episode of Back Row Banter, whatever it is, just enjoy yourself, enjoy the long weekend. And it's a little midsummer madness here. It's the only big holiday in the middle of the summer kind of thing. I feel like 4th of July is like the one that comes, right in between the years.
Sure.
You have your Christmases and everything, but the summer holiday to look forward to is always 4th of July. So you have that coming, and enjoy it. Hope you guys all have a great one, to you and your family and all that good stuff. Join us next week for our 2-year anniversary. I almost said 200 episodes.
Yeah, I was gonna say we just skipped. Hey,
we skipped 92 episodes. Our 2-year anniversary episode next week. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So join us for that. Thank you all for listening, and we'll be RB.
Is that glass bulletproof? Nope. Have a good 4th of July, everyone. Be excellent to each other, and we will be RB.
Have a great 4th, and just spend time with family or friends or whatever you got to do, but do please be safe. And don't drink and drive or anything else like that. But other than that, spread love. You never know where somebody is at in their day or their journey, and yeah, just be just realize that. But we'll be RB.
Yeah, thanks for listening. Thanks for the support as always. As we always say, if you're doing at least one thing you love every day, then you're living the right way. So that's all we got. We'll be RB.
America. Ready for another lesson.
Grand Prix, I should say.
Grand Prix.
Are we off again this week, or do we have one this week?
No, we got Silverstone this
Pretend.
week.
Oh, Silverstone.
Silverstone. It's like it's a 10 a.m. race here, so 9 a.m. race there, so that's not bad either.
What?
10 a.m. here.
They're 6 hours
Right.
ahead of us.
I remember looking like yesterday,
Oh.
and it was 10 a.m. here.
Yeah, that's true. But I thought you said, oh, you're going off of Eastern time.
10 a.m. my time, 9 a.m. your time.
Right.
That's what
I was thinking Britain. I was like, Britain is
my bad,
6
my bad.
hours ahead of us for sure. They
No,
are not
no,
at
no,
10
no.
a.m.
Yeah, 10 a.m. my time.
I
so
forgot
9 a.m. your
momentarily that you were no longer in the same time zone as us.
Yeah, that last postponement message I sent, I almost said 8 o'clock, and I was like, wait, that would be 2 hours. That'd be a delay of 2 hours
Yeah.
for them. And I was like, oh nope, never mind. It's 7.